Here we go. Good morning. Welcome to the Temple of the Living God here in lovely St. Petersburg, Florida. Can I get an amen? Amen. Hey, it's good to see you all here. It's good to see you all there. And we're going to start this service with this great song called Life is Just a Bowl of Cherries. It's true. You'll know it soon enough. You ready? Life is just a bowl of cherries. Don't take it serious. Life's too mysterious.
You work, you save, you worry so, but you can't take it all when you go.
So keep repeating it's the berries. The strongest oak must fall.
Ooh, the best things in life to you are just loan. So how can you lose what you never own? So
life is just a bowl of cherries. So live and laugh at it all. So keep repeating it's the berries. The strongest oak must fall.
The best things in life to you were just loan. How can you lose what you've never owned? So
life is just a bowl of cherries. So live it.
Love it.
Wiggle your ears and think nothing of it. Can't do without it. There's no two ways about it. So live and you laugh at it all. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Today we have with us Reverend LeRoy Zemke as our speaker. Aren't we so blessed? His message is, come into his presence with joy. My inspirational reading today comes from Daily Word, Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. Let go and let God. Letting go and letting God gives me peace. Trying to do everything myself can be exhausting, but relying solely on God can feel as though I'm not doing enough to help myself. I find perfect balance of activity, surrender, when I let go and let God. In this place of cooperation, my human and divine nature are in harmony. I take constructive action to do what is mine to do in the world. When I feel complete with my worldly efforts, I let go. I cease activity and release all my thoughts and concerns about whether my effort was enough. The divine in me is my strength and support. I trust my guidance to deliver me on the right path and right direction of steps. I let go, trusting the best outcome is on its way. Teach me the way I should go, for to you I lift up my soul. Psalms 143:8. And now we're going to have wonderful music from Carol.
Yes, thank you, Reverend Marvin. I'd like to dedicate this song to all of you, and especially to our new chaplains. If you would just close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that, and take these words as your own. This is track 6. It's track 6. I sweeter kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to this present moment here, to a new beginning here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to a deeper kind of love, to a sweeter kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Now here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to a deeper kind of love, to a sweeter kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Good morning, and welcome to another wonderful service here at the Temple of the Living God. Before I begin my presentation this morning, I want to take a few moments to honor two members of our church community who have lived a full life and have moved home this week. Carol Tomlinson and Morgan Fitzgerald. I would like you as a congregation to hold these people closely in prayer, whether you knew them personally or not. Carol was very, very active in the church a long time ago, and she still remained active even though she was not in attendance recently. But her partner is here, Margie Limbach. And so we honor Carol as she moves home. We also honor Morgan Fitzgerald, Morgan and his wife have been back in attendance because they have been active here for a very long time. Morgan and Barbara were involved in this ministry in the very, very early years. Morgan in the activity of the sound booth and in volunteering and ushering and so on. He too has moved home. Let us lift them in prayer. We lift these people who have walked among us, their friends and their family, and ask that the angels may attend their journey homeward. We give thanks for their grace among us, the love they shared, the clarity of their vision, and the truth of their beingness that we were privileged to hold in our heart, in our lives, in our own journey. May every man, every woman, every soul be touched by the memory of their gift and grace. Amen. Thank you all, and thank you to each and every one of you who continue to support the family who remain. And now this morning, I am wanting to share with you some words from the book of Psalms 100. Many of you may know this. I'm going to read it. It's very short in its entirety. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good. His many and everlasting blessings are with us, and his truth endureth forever. I want to talk briefly today, because there's no way to encompass this in a single message, about the nature of joy. Over the course of my lifetime, as I have been involved in ministry, I've thought a lot about the qualities of the Spirit that we seek to embrace in our lives. Joy is a moving, changing experience. I believe it is really divine in nature. It is about life flowing through us, moving around and uplifting and changing. I don't know how many of you have ever noticed a group of birds flying as a group in the sky above or in your environment, wherever you happen to be, and they are moving with a current that is invisible. Sometimes there's a leader, sometimes a leader isn't apparent, but they are being lifted by something invisible, and they keep moving in and through the environment effortlessly, moving on, bringing their beauty, maybe their song, maybe both, and maybe something that touches us when we see them wherever we happen to be in the outer world. When we touch joy, it is somewhat like that experience of the lifting of birds flying. You cannot control it. It just emerges. How many of you have had the joy of seeing a woman, a man that you love deeply, not necessarily a partner or a sweetheart, but someone you know profoundly, deeply, and whenever you see them walk toward you, all of a sudden something inside of you goes, ah. It's like, ah, here she is again. Here he is again. And you give thanks for the recognition that you have that that man, that woman, that person is here. And even after they have moved on, partly from the experience of seeing them, or even if they have left the earth, as some of our loved ones have, when we think of them, there is a lift that comes that brings joy. It also brings other feelings and other emotions too. But it is a moving experience. And I want to share with you that it is an expression of the holy, the infinite, without limits, without boundaries, without what we want to try to do to contain it. You know, many times we try to contain joy. How many of you have tried to contain it, capture it? And you find out later that you really can't do it. It's like a little girl or a little boy that comes running toward you, leaping into your lap. And you can't control that expression of who they are, nor would you really want to, because they're coming to bring something of their spirit to you. Now, sometimes we're not so really excited or pleased about a little child with their enthusiasm and their constant moving up and down and around and about. And we say things like, "Could you just please be quiet?" And I remember a little boy that said that one time to his mother. What does quiet mean, Mom? And because my grandmother, who was visiting my mother, her mother, I have never seen a boy move as much, as often, as frequently as your son. Does he ever sit down? And my mother said, "Not if he can help it." There is a kind of joy in the experience of children when they are able to express that divine quality that is within them. We give it a lot of different labels. We call it love, we call it care, we call it enthusiasm. But joy is of the divine. It is of the Spirit of God. Remember, joy is not something you can buy or sell in the marketplace. You can't do it because somebody decides they're going to give you the gift of joy. It just comes. It's there. It's a feeling that you have over which you have no real control because the divine isn't in a way controllable. And, you know, today we had an example of that, didn't we? Perfect example. When we had our wonderful offering and our Ace of Diamonds reward, if you want to call it that. And when the card gets pulled, the audience goes, "Ah!" And there's an expression of whatever you want to call that experience. And nobody told you to stand and shout and clap and cheer the lady on. You just did it. Why did you do it? It wasn't expected. There were no signs, clap, shout, cheer. You felt joy for her, but also for acknowledging that the Spirit of life is present in here, in this moment, in this congregation. But it is also present every day, everywhere you are in your life. I have a few quotes I want to read that capture something of this idea of joy. Joy is what happens to us when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things really, really are. That was given by Marianne Williamson. Rumi says, when you do things from within your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy forever. Remember, joy comes out of a part of your being that isn't controlled by the will. We can't decide, today I'm going to be joyful. Today I'm going to have a joyful day. Whoopee. Today I'm going to wave a flag or set off a balloon. Whoopee, whoopee. Or somebody's going to bring me a piece of chocolate cake. Whoopee. Yeah. That's not really where joy lies. It is part of a spontaneous experience of your own life. It's being able to take the breath of your life in the morning when you move out of sleep into the day, wherever you sleep, whatever has been going on in your life, and you can feel a sense of being connected. I invite you to think about joy as something that is available to you when you are really connected to your life in your soul. Now, what can you and I do in our outer life to bring a little bit more joy into the day, into the life we have? First of all, I would say, when you and I feel a sense of gratitude for the life we have and not for what we wish was so, hear the difference. Giving thanks for what you have. How many of us can feel any degree of joy for what we have and not for what we missed or lost or isn't there now? And I would invite you not to stand and shout about it. Do so if you wish. But give thanks for the men, for the women that have been part of your life. In my home, at the top of the stairway, I have the wedding picture of my parents, our parents, on the day of their marriage, many, 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 many years ago. My parents married in the 30s, so you know how long ago that is. Both of them have left us a long time ago. My father over 50 years, mother over 30. But I feel as close to them now as I did when they walked the earth. And when I see them in that picture on the day of their marriage, it reminds me of the gift they were in my life. As parents, I am always, ever eternally grateful for those two people in my life. And there is not a day that I live my life that I don't thank them for what they brought to us, not just to me, but to my sister, my brother, and to our family, and to the people who knew them and loved them. But think about the men in your life, the women in your life, not necessarily your parents, but include them. Your own children, grandparents, loved ones, aunts and uncles, partners, spouses, whoever was important to you, and what they have brought to you. Because that's still a gift. They may move on, they may have moved on, but the gift is still there. And we don't need a piece of jewelry or an article of clothing to remind us of them, because the gift comes from the soul and not from the external. Secondly, when we experience gratitude, gratitude is a never-ending gift, because once we feel gratitude about the small things, we begin to notice the bigger things. Many times we don't give thanks for the world in which we live because we think it's messed up. And if you listen to too much news, you'll get convinced that it's really messed up. But I want you to think about what happened this past month and then this past week when our country and the two major parts of Congress came together and created a limit on the debt ceiling for 2 years. Now, some of you who are politicians are going to say, oh, isn't that terrible? We're going to have to pay that off. Of course we're going to have to pay it off. We're all going to pay it, and we're all going to pay taxes. But aren't you fortunate to pay taxes? Somebody's going to say, no, I'm not. How many of you are fortunate to be able to pay your taxes? Okay, I need to see more hands up. Yes, because that provides us with what we experience in our culture. It's not a perfect world, my friends. There is a lot that could be corrected and a lot that should be corrected. And if you want to listen to the people on the news who tell you what should have been, listen every day for 24 hours a day. You'll know so many things that need to be corrected that you won't need to listen to them the rest of your lifetime. Now, I'm not saying don't pay attention to the news, but what I am saying is begin to notice what came together when people really, really, really set aside everything that's not so significant for the big picture. You and I are in this congregation because men and women before us have stood and talked together, prayed together, joined together to make a sacred space for us. And so today I do give thanks to all the people who have preceded us in this ministry. There are literally thousands of men and women that have walked through these doors and left their blessing here. Some have gone on in their life to be part of the world in which they lived, and many, many thousands of them have gone on in spirit and stand as a chorus to support us in the moment. Give thanks for your family, your friends, your loved ones, the men and women, the children that have been part of your life and that are part of our life together. Finally, of course, remember that everything in our life has its place. We don't always see the place that the men in our life, the women in our life, the children in our life have. We see a part, we see the whole in steps and in stages. This very past week, I was visiting with a longtime friend on the telephone, and I've known this lady for about 45 years. I've known her since before her only son was born, and the circumstances of that are quite a miracle, that birth. But she said to me, as we were visiting for a few moments, now, at this age, and she's now around 80 years of age, I realize what a gift it has been to be a part of every life that has been mine. Now, I want to share a piece of personal history about her. She has been married 6 times. The 5th husband is the father of the son that she prayed for in the first 4 marriages, but never came. And when the 5th man showed up, he had been married previously and had children and said, I love you, I want to be married to you, but I don't want children. But God had his hand, her hand, that hand on that marriage, and a child came. And it blessed him and the mother, and he is now married with a family and doing well in the world of flesh and form. And the mother said to me, I do not know what it means to live in limitation anymore. And she's not talking about money and talking about physical circumstances, but she said, I am so blessed in my life to have the people that have honored me. I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to look in your own life and think about the men. Think about the women that have honored you. Not just your partner, not just your wife, your husband, your mother or your father, your favorite aunt or your great-grandfather. All of those too are important. But what about all the teachers, all the good friends, all the people that have supported you? They all have had a place in the lineup of joy. In conclusion this morning, I want to say 2 things. Realize that the life that you live is greater than any life that you can imagine. Ralph Waldo Emerson said this just a little differently. What lies behind us and what lies before us are small matters compared to what lies within us. And finally, I want to read a quote from the words of Helen Keller. I never, of course, knew her. Most of us in this congregation have not known her. She lived a remarkable life. She was born blind, as many of you may know if you remember her life. And because a woman who was brought into her life by virtue of her father and mother, a mother whose name was Anne Sullivan, taught her to read and to see beyond words. She ultimately wrote, traveled all over the U.S. and abroad. She wrote these words, and I close my thought this morning. No pessimist ever discovered the secrets of the stars, or sailed to an uncharted land, or opened a new heaven to the human spirit. God bless you, beloved family.